C-SPAN survey measured 10 qualities of presidential leadership: public persuasion, crisis leadership, economic management, moral authority, international relations, administrative skills, relations with Congress, vision, pursued equal justice for all, and performance within the context of his times. Abraham Lincoln was voted the best U.S. president in a survey where nearly 100 historians rated past commanders-in-chief on 10 leadership qualities. Here are the top 10 presidents, according to historians surveyed by C-SPAN. Hi, my name is Ability Godwin. In today's video, I will be documenting U.S. top 10 most historical presidents. 1. Abraham Lincoln, 1861 to 1865, 16th president, ranks best for his crisis leadership, administrative skills, vision, and pursued equal justice for all. Among all the U.S. presidents, Lincoln takes first place for crisis leadership capacity and for pursuing equal justice for all. He led the country through one of its most trying periods, the Civil War, and in 1863 signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing the slaves. Arguably the most quoted, most memorized piece of oratory in American history. 2. George Washington, 1789 to 1797, first president, ranks highly for his economic management, moral authority, and performance within the context of his times. Washington remains the only president to not have been affiliated with a political party during his time in office. Washington fought hard for the Constitution, feeling that the Articles of Confederation were not functioning well for the country. He was disappointed to see the country becoming more politically divided toward the end of his first term, and set a precedent by choosing to retire after his second. 3. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945, 32nd president, ranked highly for his public persuasion and handling of international relations. American President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, at the microphones of MGS, CBS, and NBS in the White House, declares an unlimited state of emergency in the United States, confronted with World War II, which has spread from Europe to Asia. FDR assumed the presidency during the worst of the Great Depression, but assured the American people, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." He also led the U.S. through the perilous years of World War II. He is the only American president ever elected to 4 terms, though he died in April 1945 at the start of his 4th term. 4. Theodore Roosevelt, 1901 to 1909, 26th president, ranked highly for his public persuasion. Mount Rushmore depicts Roosevelt's face, alongside George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Abraham Lincoln. Just 42 when he became the youngest president in the nation's history, he had the enthusiasm and energy to convince Congress to pass progressive reforms and a strong foreign policy, exemplified by his motto, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." An avid outdoorsman, he oversaw the expansion of America's national parks. 5. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 1953 to 1961, 34th president, ranked highly for his moral authority. Eisenhower founded NASA and signed a law that would create the interstate highway system. Eisenhower, a celebrated commander in World War II, saw his energies as president largely devoted to the onset of the Cold War. He obtained a truce after years of war in Korea, continued the desegregation of the U.S. Armed Forces, and sent federal troops to enforce a court order desegregating public schools in Little Rock, Arkansas. 6. Harry S. Truman, 1945 to 1953, 33rd president, ranked highly for his crisis leadership and his pursued equal justice for all. Truman wins praise from historians for his foreign policy leadership. Though unpopular when he left office, he has grown more highly regarded by historians over the years. After VE Day, when Japan refused to surrender, he ordered that atomic bombs be dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, finally ending World War II in the Pacific. Shortly thereafter, Truman watched the signing of the Charter of the United Nations, established to preserve peace. 7. Thomas Jefferson, 1801 to 1809, third president, ranked highly for his relations with Congress and his vision. Jefferson vastly expanded the U.S. borders through the Louisiana Purchase with France. He was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, writing that all men are created equal, even as he continued to own slaves. During his presidency, he acquired the Louisiana Territory, vastly expanding the size of the country, and he slashed the national debt by a third. 8. John F. Kennedy, 1961 to 1963, 35th president, ranked highly for public persuasion. Kennedy became the youngest man and first Catholic elected president. Historians credit Kennedy most for his skills and public persuasion and his vision. He also rates well for crisis management and handling international relations. He stood up to the Soviets and successfully defused the Cuban Missile Crisis. He also inspired Americans by vowing to put a man on the moon, and he supported progress on civil rights. He was assassinated after barely 1,000 days in office. 9. Ronald Reagan, 1981 to 1989, 40th president, ranked highly for his public persuasion. Reagan scored highly for public persuasion skills and setting the national agenda. In May 24, 1985 file photo, President Ronald Reagan works at his desk in the Oval Office of the White House as he prepares a speech on tax revision in Washington. Domestically, Reagan is best known for cutting income taxes via two different federal laws, the Economic Recovery Tax Act of 1981 and the Tax Reform Act of 1986. 10. Barack Obama, 2009 to 2017, 44th president, ranked highly for his pursuit of equal justice for all. President Barack Obama holds his final news conference at the White House in Washington, U.S., January 18, 2017. Obama's signature domestic policy accomplishment, the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, was unpopular with Republicans but extended health insurance coverage to 20 million Americans. His administration helped guide the country through the Great Recession and rescued the U.S. auto industry. Historians have given him weaker marks for his dealings with Congress and international relations. Thanks for watching this video. See you in our next episode.